Hey, are you tired of getting hung up on? Do your phone skills lack a little bit? Hey, we're gonna help you change that right now. Hey, listen, you want to know how not to suck in the first 30 seconds of your call? I want to show you how to nail that first 30 seconds, and I'm just having fun. I wanted to give you an illustration or show you the energy that you need to have in that first 30 seconds, right? Nailing the first 30 seconds is going to get you into the call, right? Get you to qualify the lead, get you to hopefully set the appointment, and so on and so forth. And listen, you can't get to that point if you don't kill it in the first 30 seconds. So there's three main things, okay, that I want to talk to you about that will help you nail that first 30 seconds. I think this is probably one of the things that I'm best at. You know, starting my business, I did a ton of cold calling. Man, I would call these people and I would get into conversations with them over and over and over again. When they would answer the phone, I would have a conversation. Very, very seldom did I get shut out and not to be able to at least have a conversation. And here's why. The first thing that I did, right, we'll just title this, How Not to Suck, right? And then we'll subtitle it in the first 30 seconds, right? Because that's very important. We don't want to suck in the first, we don't want to suck at all, but especially not in the first 30 seconds, right? We say first impressions are important. So the first 30 seconds of your call, you've got to kill. The first thing that you've got to do is you've got to have control. You've got to have control of the call. And this is so important, right? The other two things that I'm going to talk about are definitely a lot more stuff you haven't heard before, most likely. This is something that I know you've heard before. You can't get anywhere if you're not controlling the call. You're going to be able to control the call by asking questions, right? So having control of the call means you're asking questions, right? It means you're getting responses. It means you're leading that conversation. You're steering that conversation where it needs to go. I can do a whole nother video on how to control that call, and we will do that. But I can tell you that if you don't have control in the first 30 seconds, your client is trying to take you off a script, right? You're on a script, or you're on a mission. Your client's job, right, in that straight line system, your client's job is to derail you. So if you're going from point A, not client, your prospect, right? If you're going from point A to point B, you want to go in a straight line, right? Your client is going to help, your prospect is going to try to get you off of that track, right? They're going to be all over here, and you've got to control, you've got to guide that conversation from point A to point B, right? So you've got to have control. And the second thing, and again, this is what I think that I do best, is you've got to be their friend, right? And what I mean by that is not be their friend in the sense that you guys go way back and you're hearing all their problems and blah, 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 but you're talking to them no different than you're talking to your friends, right? So you wouldn't pick up the phone and you wouldn't say, hey, hey, Eric, this is Bradley Hannon. How are you, right? Maybe you would say it something like that, but you certainly wouldn't sound robotic, right? You wouldn't sound like, hi, this is Bradley Hannon, the health insurance broker. I'm reaching out because I work with self-employed individuals, blah, 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 right? You're not going to sound robotic. You want to be excited. You want to have some energy. In fact, when I'm cold calling, right, and we do trainings I used to do them every week. We do them about monthly now, cold calls, right? Usually, okay, and this is most times, in the first 10 or 12 calls, I'm having a conversation, right? I'm at least having a conversation, and here's why. When I call somebody, I'm usually standing. I've got a stand-up desk. I want to get my energy. Nobody likes to make these cold calls, right? Or calling age leads. And so you might as well make the most of it and do the best you can so you can kind of get off of it, right? Because it's a means to an end. You're trying to generate enough leads, enough appointments off of that to be able to move forward. And so therefore you'd want to get it done as quickly as possible. So I'm usually standing. I've got an energetic posture, if you will, and the intro to my call will go a little something like this. Hey, is this Eric? Like, you got a little excitement, and they're like, man, what do you, wow, this guy's like excited, right? You're getting their attention right away. Hey, this Eric? Eric, hey, this is Bradley Hannon. Listen, man, the reason for my call is I work with people like yourself who are paying way too much for their health insurance. Didn't know if that was your situation. right? You see the tonality, you see the dynamic tonality there with throwing just some different enunciations in there, right? Like paying way too much for their health insurance. Like, hey, listen, I work with people that are paying way too much, right? I'm excited because I know that I can help. And that comes through when you be their friend, right? Be friendly. Talk to them like a friend, which means don't use last names. It means you're not, hi, is this Bradley Hannon? You don't know that person if you're calling someone. When you call your friend, really, and in fact, a lot of times I will leave the is this so-and-so out of it because that shows them right away that you don't know them, right? That you're a telemarketer, if you will. And so most times it's more like this. Hey, Brad, this is Bradley Hannon. Hey, Brad, that would be funny. Hey, Eric, this is Bradley Hannon, the health insurance broker. I work with people like you who are paying way too much for their coverage. Didn't know if that was your situation, man. Just throw in just some friendly verbiage there. You don't have to be overly professional, right? We want to keep it professional, but also you want to have a little fun with it. You want them to want to talk to you, right? Like when I call somebody, I want people to be like, man, what the heck's this guy so excited about, right? I'm so excited because I can help you. Right? It's about you. I can help you. And the last thing, of course, and this goes without saying most times, is to have confidence, right? Don't overpromise and underdeliver, but make big promises, right? Like, hey, if you're me, okay, and so as a broker, I have access to pretty much all of their options. And so I can go into that call confident that if I can just have a conversation, if that person is paying for their own insurance, I can help them, right? Like if they're paying for their own insurance, I can help them. I'm that confident, right? It's not even a question in my mind. If they're paying for their own insurance, I can help them, period. Whether that's helping them by letting them know they're on the best possible plan for their situation, or we can improve their situation. We can increase their benefits. We can lower their costs, whatever angle might be. I'm confident that I can help them. And you have to be able to have that confidence that you can help anybody in any situation as long as they fit your demographic, which for me is just the simple fact that they're paying for their own coverage, right? I can't help you if you're not paying for your coverage. If somebody else is paying for it, it's going to be pretty hard for me to help you. And it's also going to be pretty hard for you to even want to be helped. So again, if somebody's paying for their own insurance, I know that I can help them, barring any health stuff, any of that stuff. We don't even get into that. I will make big claims in the beginning of the call. Hey, listen, I work with people like you who are paying way too much for their health insurance. The people like you thing is really important. Hey, I work with people like yourself, right? Or self-employed individuals like you who are paying way too much for their health insurance, right? When you get into that conversation, hey, listen, if you're paying for your own coverage, there's no question that I can help you because as a broker, I have access to all of your options so we can shop every single plan out there. There's no question that I'm the best person for the job. I've got that level of confidence going into any call. We start our agents, a lot of times brand new agents that don't have any phone experience or any insurance experience. We will start them a lot of times on cold calls, right? Not necessarily with an objective of closing every call or generating a ton of leads, but to get that phone voice warmed up, to get used to making those dials, having that level of energy. And man, this applies to anything. If you're calling a lead, if you're calling, it applies to all of that, and even more so because if you paid $25 for an exclusive lead, or if you paid $50 for a lead, you want to sound different. You want to obviously maximize your return. So you've got to have control. You've got to be their friend, and you've got to have confidence, and you'll kill the first 30 seconds. Hey, listen, without setting good appointments, it's going to be tough to make any money in this business, right? You've got to have appointments, right? You people have to show up. If you're struggling with setting better appointments, check out the next video I just did on how to set better appointments over the phone.